Okay, now this is interesting. How would Ben from Ben 10 deal with Mahoraga? Now, story-wise, this is how I could see it playing out. I'm actually gonna play this out like how I think the fight would actually go. Mahoraga would see Ben, immediately go for the attack. Ben's like, oh crap, activates the watch. Probably gonna start with something like forearms, diamond head, something physical, because he thinks Mahoraga is also gonna be a physical fighter. And over the course of the fight, he's going to think that it's just new abilities that Mahoraga has that he already had in his arsenal, when in reality, it's just adapting to whatever alien Ben's sending out. And I could see this happening for like two, three, at most four or five aliens before Ben comes to the conclusion that Mahoraga's adapting. And from this point onward, I can see this going one of two ways, depending on how Ben thinks the adaptation works. If he figures out the exact way Maharaga's adaptation works, where he has to survive long enough to adapt to it, then he's just going to go with one of his heaviest hitting aliens and just take out Maharaga as quick as possible. But if he thinks the adaptation is like the moment it gets hit with something, it adapts to that level, where he'll think, if I summon something like Alien X or Clockwork, it'll just get to that level, then I could see him primarily trying to like lock away Mahoraga rather than try and defeat it. Either way, Mahoraga is not going to win in the end, but I could see in the very beginning he's going to throw Ben through a couple loops. But Ben is surprisingly quite the genius, despite what people try and say that haven't actually fully watched the show. So, four or five transformations is the absolute most I think he'd have to cycle through before he came to the conclusion of what to do to deal with Mahoraga. But I'll say this one thing: watching this fight play out would be so awesome.